So as we speak, one of Columbia University's cherished recreational spaces is being condemned by the Universal Institute for the Public Good. So I'm going to read this press release. The Universal Institute for the Public Good condemns a Columbia University lawn as blighted due to unsanitary, ill-maintained conditions and chronic underuse. Just a few moments ago, representatives of the Universal Institute for the Public Good arrived at the old South Lawn recreational zone bearing blight notices and cease and desist orders against frisbee throwers, midday revelers, and scholarly picnickers, informing them of the Institute's plans to take over the area in order to promote the public good as defined, of course, in the Institute's own mission statement. Through the proxy exercise of the power of eminent domain, the Institute has begun to carry out its plans to revamp this old recreational zone, saving it from the dilapidation and disease that its primary underusers appear not to have noticed. Indeed, despite daily excursions onto the lawn by soccer players of all stripes and ambling toddlers chasing balloons, the Institute believes that their plan for the construction of a gazillion-dollar Center for the Research and Alleviation of the Negative and the Promotion of the Positive, broadly construed, will revitalize this defunct area. This latest move comes after years of gradual acquisition of the area by the Institute, which has taped off an increasingly large swath of the lawn and forbidden any activity on it in order to ensure that its utility is maximized. In the future, people who had hitherto used this space for the advancement of nothing but their private spiritual, athletic, and recreational pursuits will be able to participate in the massive efforts of research and production of the positive that will take place there. The Institute does not, as of yet, have plans for alternative facilities for kickball, afternoon snacking, siestas, or Tai Chi, but it has assured all participants that the aforementioned activities, that the old recreational zone of South Lawn will remain a wonderful place for them when it houses the Silver Bullet Center. The new Center for the Research on the Alleviation of the Negative and the Promotion of the Positive, broadly construed, will create new means of recreation that will eradicate existing blight and uplift those who have been consistently underusing the small portion of the old South Lawn recreational zone to which they have been confined. The Institute welcomes any input or concerns that current underusers and contaminators may have, and recommends that they contact Nobody Jones of the Institute's Office of Goodness, listen up, between 28 and 29 o'clock on Lose Day and Sunday. Take care. Thank you.
Hi, I'm a Columbia student. Ever since the Supreme Court case of Kelo versus City of New London, which allowed private developers to use eminent domain for the public use, the implications of the abuse of eminent domain have led to outrage. Justice Sandra O'Connor dissented, stating that this would inevitably blur the fine line between private and public use of property. Such a controversy has currently arisen in our own neighborhood. Columbia's recent draft of the General Project Plan has presumptuously proclaimed Manhattanville blighted before the blight study has even been completed. Furthermore, the neutrality of the blight study itself has been compromised, with Columbia paying the Empire State Development Corporation $300,000 for the expense of the blight study. Columbia currently owns the majority of the land needed for the expansion and have systematically kept much of that property underused over the years by shortening leases, effectively prohibiting other developers and the local community itself to use the land for economic development. As a non-profit entity, Columbia does not need government subsidies to obtain land. But as an academic institution that teaches its students the values of justice and ethics, Columbia is not just any developer either. The Columbia administrators have continually professed their commitment to the public good and to the community currently residing there. However, through the entire expansion process thus far, the community has been disempowered and misinformed. There is no transparency in Columbia's plans. Their promises of creating affordable housing and jobs have been tainted with ambiguity at best. As students, the actions of the administration are implicated on us as well. No matter what decisions the administration will unilaterally make, we pay our tuition, carry Columbia's name after graduation, and continue to contribute money to this prestigious institution afterwards. We are stakeholders in the expansion process, and we need to rise up to the challenge to ensure that the expansion is done in a manner that's respectful to our neighbors and truly beneficial to all of us. The Manhattanville community needs these good faith negotiations in writing, and the only way to do this is for Columbia to fully participate in negotiations with the community, and most importantly, be willing to compromise. By keeping the use of eminent domain on the table, the Columbia administration is effectively halting any efforts for a compromise or agreement, and also furthering negative opinion of Columbia in the neighboring community, not to mention the dangerous precedent this action will set for other institutions. Contrary to what the Columbia administration may think, the area of Manhattanville is not blighted. It is not underused, neglected, or abandoned. There is a living, breathing, vibrant community there. People live, work, and play there. Many have called it home their entire lives. The character of the community is strong, and they are not leaving without a fight. It's time to get involved. It's time to take a little responsibility for Columbia's actions as students. It's time to listen to the people who will be most affected by the expansion.